Live from New Delhi, you're watching DD India Live, India's voice to the world. I'm Bharat. Coming up in the next 30 minutes. India's Prime Minister Narendra Modi flags off 6 new Vande Bharat trains in eastern Indian state of Jharkhand. Also dedicates various railway projects to nation worth over 6.6 billion in Tata Nagar. Israel carries out air attacks against Hezbollah targets in Lebanon. Hezbollah warns of large losses if Israel expands conflict in Lebanon. And India's national public service broadcaster Doordarshan completes 65 years of its glorious existence. Established on September 15, 1959, it marked the beginning of India's broadcasting era. India's Prime Minister Narendra Modi is on a visit to eastern Indian state of Jharkhand and virtually laid the foundation stone and dedicate to the nation various railway projects worth more than 6.6 billion rupees through video conferencing. PM also laid foundation stone for Madhupur bypass line in Deoghar district and Hazaribagh town coaching depot in Hazaribagh district of Jharkhand. Prime Minister also virtually dedicated to the nation Kurkura Kana Kruan doubling, which is part of Bonda Munda Ranchi single line section and part of Rourkela Gomo route via Ranchi, Muri and Chandrapura stations. The project will help in the increased mobility of goods and passenger traffic considerably. Apart from this, 4 road under bridges shall also be dedicated to the nation for enhancing safety to common people. Prime Minister also virtually flagged off 6 Vande Bharat trains. The state-of-the-art Vande Bharat Express trains will improve the connectivity on these routes, which are Tata Nagar Patna, Bhagalpur Dumka, Howrah Brahmapur Tata Nagar, Gaya Howrah, Deoghar Varanasi and Rourkela Howrah. The introduction of these Vande Bharat Express trains will benefit regular travellers, professionals, business and student community. In line with his commitment for housing for all, Prime Minister virtually distributed sanction letters to 20,000 Pradhan Mantri Awas Yojana Grameen PMAYG beneficiaries from Jharkhand. PM released first installment of assistance to the beneficiaries. Prime Minister also participated in the Griha Pravesh celebrations of 46,000 beneficiaries. Speaking virtually, PM congratulated the people of Jharkhand on getting 6 new Vande Bharat trains, projects worth over 6.6 billion rupees, expansion of connectivity and travel facilities, as well as Pakka House for thousands of people.
6 नई वंदे भारत ट्रेनें 650 करोड़ से ज्यादा की रेलवे परियोजनाएं, कनेक्टिविटी और यात्रा सुविधाओं का विस्तार और इस सबके साथ साथ झारखंड के हजारों लोगों को पीएम आवास योजना के तहत अपना पक्का घर। मैं झारखंड की जनता जनार्दन को इन सभी विकास कार्यों के लिए बधाई देता हूं।
Vice President of India Jagdeep Dhankar inaugurated Samvidhan Mandir or Constitution Temple at Mumbai's Elphinstone College in the western Indian state of Maharashtra on Sunday. Addressing the event, the Vice President described this as a milestone and said that the Samvidhan Mandir will generate awareness about the Indian Constitution. The Vice President of India Jagdeep Dhankar is on a 2-day tour of Mumbai and Nagpur in the state of Maharashtra. Later in the day, Vice President Dhankar will proceed to Nagpur, where he will inaugurate the digital tower at the Ramdev Baba University.
It is indeed a milestone achievement. It will surely generate awareness about our Constitution. It exemplifies commitment to Constitution to the highest order. I give a clarion call to all of you. Be vocal about our nationalism. Be extremely vocal about our nationalism. Be vocal about our constitution. Because that is the only way to ensure in 2047 Bharat becomes a developed nation.
In a sudden announcement, Arvind Kejriwal has said that he will resign as Delhi's chief minister. Kejriwal added that the resignation will happen 2 days later. The Aam Aadmi Party Supremo also called for early polls in Delhi in November. Well, elections in Delhi are currently scheduled for February next year. India's Supreme Court had granted him bail in Delhi excise policy case on Friday. Shifting focus, Israel has struck various Hezbollah targets in Lebanon, including weapons storage facilities and a military structure. Hostilities across the Lebanese-Israeli border have forced tens of thousands of people to leave both sides of the frontier. The risk of escalation has loomed large. Concerns over a wider conflict in the West Asia have prompted international airlines to suspend flights to their region or to avoid affected airspace. The strikes come amid rising concerns of wider conflict in West Asia. As tensions flare up, several international airlines have suspended flights to the region. Meanwhile, Hezbollah's deputy leader has warned Israel that a full-scale war on Lebanon would cause large losses on both sides and displace hundreds of thousands of more Israelis in countries north. Hezbollah's comments came as Israel's Channel 13 reported that Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu was on the verge of launching a broad and strong operation on the country's northern border with Lebanon. Hezbollah and the Israeli military have been trading near daily fire across the Israel-Lebanon border since Israel launched its deadly war on Gaza in October. The Lebanese armed group said its attacks on Israel are in solidarity with Palestinians in Gaza and would end as soon as Israeli troops end their conflict and withdraw from the coastal enclave. A surface-to-surface missile was fired at central Israel from Yemen, the Israeli Defense Forces said on Sunday. The IDF added that the missile hit an unpopulated area. Sirens were sounded across Tel Aviv and central Israel, sending residents running for shelter. No injuries have been reported so far. Israeli police published photos showing debris that landed on a train station's escalator after the missile was fired. As the conflict between Russia and Ukraine crosses the 900-day mark, the Russian Defense Ministry announced that both the countries have exchanged total 206 prisoners of war on Saturday, 103 from either side. All the exchanged Russian soldiers are now in Belarus. The United Arab Emirates facilitated the exchange through humanitarian mediation. Ukrainian authorities said on Saturday that this was the second exchange in 2 days. Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky announced that 103 Ukrainian military personnel, including 21 officers, had been released. Meanwhile, Russian officials have threatened the West and Ukraine with an uncontrolled escalation of war and destruction of Kiev as Western leaders debate allowing Ukraine to use their weapons for strikes deep into Russian territory. Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky said late on Friday that his plan to achieve victory depended on Washington's decision, a clear reference to the authorization for long-range strikes that Kiev has long sought from NATO allies. Pressure is mounting on Ukrainians in military age to join National Army to replenish dwindling numbers of combatants against Russia. Ending social benefits is one of the measures that are being suggested against those who are unwilling to join troops. A suggestion in this regard has come from Polish Foreign Minister Radoslaw Sikorski after a meeting with Ukrainian counterpart Andriy Sybiha in Kiev on Saturday. Following the meeting, Poland's foreign minister said that European governments should halt welfare benefits to Ukrainian men of military age who are living in their countries. He said this will force them to return home and fight the Russians and also save government money.
Stop paying those social security payments for people who are eligible for the Ukrainian draft. There should be no financial incentives for avoiding the draft in Ukraine. It's not a human right to be paid to avoid the draft to defend your country. We in Poland don't do it. There are no social security payments. And if we did, we would have a significant political problem in our country.
More than 4.1 million Ukrainians had temporary protection status in European Union countries as of July this year, and about 22% of them were adult men, according to data from the EU Statistics Office, Eurostat. And as clashes continue from both sides in the Ukraine-Russia conflict, the Russian Defense Ministry said in a daily briefing it had liberated the village of Zhelen-Pershe near the key logistics hub of Pokrovsk. Pokrovsk lies on the intersection of a key road that supplies Ukrainian troops and towns across the Eastern Front and has long been a target of Moscow's army. Over half of city's 60,000 residents have fled since the conflict began in February 2022, with evacuations ramping up in recent weeks as Moscow's army closes in. While Ukraine had hoped its major cross-border incursion into the Kursk region last month would slow down Russia's advances in the east. Russia, however, has claimed this week to have taken back some of its territory in the western Kursk region in a counter-offensive. As clashes continue from both sides in the Russia-Ukraine conflict, the Russian air defense destroyed 29 drones that Ukraine launched overnight, targeting 7 Russian regions on Sunday. 15 of the drones were downed over the Bryansk region that borders Ukraine, while the rest were destroyed over the Smolensk, Orlov, Belgorod, Kaluga and Rostov regions. On the other hand, the Ukrainian Defense Forces reported that they had downed 10 out of 14 drones that Russia launched overnight, targeting its territory on Sunday. Further, it said that Russia launched 2 Iskander-M ballistic missiles and 1 Kh-59 guided air missile targeting the southern region of Odessa. As the campaign for presidential race getting shriller every passing day, U.S. President Joe Biden and Democratic presidential nominee Kamala Harris cautioned American voters against hate-mongering by former U.S. President Donald Trump. Both Democratic leaders were addressing a gathering at the 2024 Phoenix Awards dinner in Washington, D.C. on Saturday. Hosted by Congressional Black Caucus Foundation, the event brought together political, cultural and activists to honor black excellence. Biden warned of rising threats to harmony and democracy, likening them to ghosts in new garments aiming to strip away freedoms.
Any one of us do well, we all do well. Let's be clear. There are old ghosts in new garments trying to seize your power, and extremists coming for your freedoms. Make it harder to vote and have your vote counted. Closing doors of opportunity, attacking affirmative action, and the values of diversity, equity, and inclusion. He says immigrants, black and brown immigrants, poison the blood of our country. Right now, his running mate is attacking Haitian Americans in Ohio. It's wrong. It's got to stop. Any president should reject hate in America and incite, not incite it.
Harris, a former member of the Congressional Black Caucus, emphasized on respecting civil rights of common citizens.
While we moved and fight to move our nation forward toward a brighter future, Donald Trump and his extremist allies intend to take our nation backward. They will give tax breaks to billionaires and big corporations, cut Social Security and Medicare, and end the Affordable Care Act, which the CBC fought so hard to pass. But we are not going back.
The evening also celebrated notable figures, including White House Press Secretary Karine Jean-Pierre and hip-hop icon LL Cool J for their contributions to the black community. And let's see what's happening around the world. Thousands of Bhutanese dressed in colorful dresses gathered at a monastery in kingdom's capital Thimphu to celebrate Buddhist Seichu festival, also known as the Mask Dance Festival. The fest is held annually in Bhutan to honor Tibetan Buddhism. As part of the International Coastal Cleanup Day, residents of South Africa descend on the World Heritage Site Robben Island coastline with bags in hand to gather waste. Every year, the International Coastal Cleanup Day is observed worldwide on the third Saturday of September. Emmy nominees Richard Gadd, Jaylin Barron, John Bartley, plus more of Hollywood's biggest TV stars attended the 2024 BAFTA North America TV Tea Party at the Beverly Hills in California on the eve of the Emmy Awards, also known as biggest night in the television. And still to come on this edition of DD India Live. China prepares for heavy rain as Typhoon Bebinka nears Shanghai. And Harvest Festival Onam being celebrated today with traditional fervour across India.
Complex issues, hidden agendas, twists and turns, strategic games. We think all dots are linked. We just need to connect them. Join me every week as I connect the dots to unravel hidden designs in statecraft, mysteries, and decode issues that matter to you. Watch Connecting the Dots with me at these times on DD India.
You're watching DD India Live. I'm Siddharth Bharadwaj. Philippines is returning to port a Coast Guard vessel anchored in the contested Sabina Shoal in the South China Sea after a 5-month deployment as its mission is accomplished. The Teresa Magbanua had been deployed to monitor suspected Chinese reclamation activities, escalating tensions in the disputed waters. Executive Secretary announced that the vessel's mission has been successfully completed. Despite facing overwhelming odds, the ship is returning to port for repairs and to address the crew's medical needs. This move comes after high-level talks between Manila and Beijing, where China reiterated its demand for the vessel's withdrawal. While the Philippines reaffirmed its stance on Sabina Shoal, there has been no immediate comment from the Chinese embassy in Manila. Chinese authorities prepared for heavy rain on Sunday as a strong typhoon approached the country's heavily populated eastern seaboard. Typhoon Bebinka was expected to make landfall along a swath of coastline, including the mega city of Shanghai, sometime between Sunday night and Monday morning. According to Beijing's Emergency Management Ministry, the storm would cause heavy to torrential downpours with local heavy or extremely heavy rainstorms between Sunday and Tuesday. The Water Resources Ministry on Saturday launched a Level 4 emergency response, the lowest in a tiered system for flooding in Shanghai and the provinces of Jiangsu, Zhejiang and Anhui. Some flights to and from major airports in Shanghai were cancelled or rescheduled on Sunday because of the typhoon. And death toll from Myanmar's devastating floods rose to 74 as of Friday evening after heavy rains triggered widespread floods across the country. Search and rescue operations are underway with at least 89 people missing as of Friday evening, the report said. Adverse weather brought on by Typhoon Yagi, the strongest storm to hit Asia this year, has killed many people in Vietnam and Thailand, and floodwaters from swollen rivers have inundated cities in both countries. A billionaire spacewalker returned to Earth with his crew on Sunday, ending a 5-day trip that lifted them higher than anyone has traveled since NASA's moonwalkers. SpaceX's capsule splashed down in the Gulf of Mexico near Florida's dry Tortugas in pre-dawn darkness, carrying tech entrepreneur Jared Isaacman, two SpaceX engineers and a former Air Force Thunderbird pilot. They pulled off the first private spacewalk while orbiting nearly 460 miles above Earth, higher than the International Space Station and Hubble Space Telescope. Their spacecraft hit a peak altitude of 875 miles following Tuesday's liftoff. During Thursday's commercial spacewalk, the Dragon capsule hatch was open barely a half hour. India's public broadcaster Doordarshan completes 65 glorious years today. Established on 15 September 1959, Doordarshan marked the beginning of India's broadcasting era. The then President Rajendra Prasad inaugurated the first broadcast on that day. Until 1975, it was a part of All India Radio. On 1st of April 1976, it transformed into a separate department in the Ministry of Information and Broadcasting and later came under Prasar Bharati. Doordarshan has delivered content to generations and continues to play a vital role in creating awareness. Shows like Ramayana, Mahabharat, Hum Log, Bunyad, Malguri Days and Udan set a benchmark for quality content. Today, Doordarshan remains India's largest broadcasting entity with a vast network of studios and transmitters. It provides television, online and mobile services, reaching both metropolitan and regional areas as well as international audiences. The festival of Onam is being celebrated across the world among the Malayali community with traditional fervour. The festival is mainly celebrated in the South Indian state of Kerala. The festival is connected with the return of Asur or demon king Mahabali, under whose reign everyone lived in happiness and equality. As part of the Onam festivities, homes are decorated with beautiful floral carpets called Pukkalam of various designs and colours. Onam Sadhya, which comprises various traditional vegetarian dishes, pickles and desserts served on a banana leaf, is the highlight of the festival. Major temples including Sabarimala, Sri Krishna Temple at Guruvayur and Sri Padmanabha Swami Temple witnessed heavy rush since the wee hours of the morning. Decorated with colourful rangoli art and flowers, the temples are creating the perfect divine atmosphere with people chanting hymns and singing devotional songs. The festive flair of Onam can be seen all over. India's President Draupadi Murmu, in a social media post on X, greeted the citizens on Onam, particularly to brothers and sisters in Kerala. The post further stated that during this festival, we celebrate the new harvest and show our gratitude to Mother Nature. May this festival bring peace, prosperity and happiness to all. Vice President of India Jagdeep Dhankar, in a social media post on X, said, on the occasion of Onam, and I quote, Onam weaves communities together through cherished traditions and serves as a heartfelt reminder of the enduring values of compassion and sacrifice. May the spirit of Onam fill everyone's life with happiness and prosperity. #Onam. India's Prime Minister Narendra Modi conveyed his greetings on the occasion of Festival of Onam. He wrote on X, and I quote him, wishing everyone a joyous Onam. May there be peace, prosperity and wellness all over. This festival celebrates the glorious culture of Kerala and is marked enthusiastically by the Malayali community all over the world. And time now for sport. The Indian tennis team will square off against Sweden in the Davis Cup World Group 1 match in Stockholm on Sunday. India and Sweden played 2 of the 5 matches on Saturday. The remaining 3 matches of the tie are scheduled on Sunday, which will feature 1 doubles and 2 singles matches if needed. On the opening day, India was on the back foot as Ramkumar Ramanathan and N. Sriram Balaji lost their opening matches. Balaji was defeated by Sweden's number 1, Elias Ymer, 6-4, 6-2, while Ramkumar Ramanathan lost to Leo Borg 6-3, 6-4. India are yet to win the Davis Cup but has finished runners-up thrice in 1966, 1974 and 1987. World champion Neeraj Chopra fell short of winning the men's javelin throw event at the Diamond League final by just 1 centimetre in Brussels, capital of Belgium. Neeraj Chopra's throw of 87.86 metre was second best in the final. Grenada's Anderson Peters won his first Diamond League title with an effort of 87.87 metres, while Julian Weber of Germany was third. This was Neeraj Chopra's 5th appearance at the Diamond League final. He had become the first Indian to win a Diamond League trophy in 2022. India's men and women's teams continue their impressive run at Chess Olympiad in Budapest. They posted identical 3.5, 0.5 wins in the 4th round. The Indian men's squad clinched a decisive 3.5, 0.5 triumph over Serbia while the Indian women's team clinched a commanding 3.5 to 0.5 win against France. In the men's category, Doma, Raju Gukesh, Arjun Arigesi and Vidit Gujarati showed their prowess with series of decisive wins. The Indian women's team, led by Dronavali Harika, delivered a strong performance against France. Dronavali set the tone with the first win, while Vaishali Ramesh Babu played to a draw. The rest of the team contributed significantly to India's win. England will take on Australia in the third and final match of the T20 series in Old Trafford on Sunday. Earlier, England levelled the series after beating Australia by 3 wickets in second match. With both teams having a win in their bag, it will be interesting to see who will win the series decider. Both the teams have plenty of firepower and a stock of exciting young talent that has shined in the series. Once a bastion of global terrorists, an Islamic State stronghold, the Iraqi city of Mosul now has a bustling nightlife. Within a few years after the fall of terror group, Iraq's second largest city is now completely changed. Residents are rediscovering the art of having a good time as they have seen the worst. Iraqi families are enjoying their time at restaurant, cafe and amusement parks. The public places are open till late night. That's all for this edition of DD India Live, but let us know your thoughts on the news of the day. For those on the go, you can get all the latest news and updates from India and across the world on the DD India mobile app. The app is available on both Android and iOS platforms. Scan the QR code on the screen to download now. We'll be back with more news as it breaks here on DD India. I'm Siddharth Bharadwaj from all of us here in Delhi. Thanks for watching DD India Live.